Art Encounter. How many of you have heard of Art Encounter? Oh yes. A lot of this beautiful artwork that you see, not just downtown Evanston, throughout the North Shore, south side of Chicago, west side of Chicago. They do programs. I mean, they beautify the entire North Shore and Chicago. Absolutely. They do programs for kids from Evanston all the way to south side, west side of Chicago. Yeah, so when I was on their board, I was so impressed. I had no idea that they did as much work as they do. And Evanston, come on now, you all have got to support our arts. You got to support our arts. Yes. These people work so hard. Absolutely. So without further ado, I'm going to bring up this couple that I saw years ago outside painting. And I was like, what is going on there? And it was just beautiful. And they made my day. That's all I got to say is they made my day with their work. So without further ado, Leah and Dustin. Yes. Welcome to Where the People Meet. I'm so happy to have you guys on. Yes. When we thought of this show, of course we wanted to dive into community issues and concerns and get people engaged so we could bring some changes. And also celebrate Evanston. I said, Evanston has such a rich arts community. And I said, we have to have art encounter. All these murals that you all have done around here, like, thank you so much for your work. Thank you.
It's been a joy.
Yes. So, explain to people how you all decided to become muralists. I mean, when did that just hit you? We're gonna paint on. Did you start in graffiti? Be honest.
Me? Not me.
Dustin,
I dabbled in graffiti a little bit.
Okay.
A long time ago. Those days were past. I'm a fan of it. So that's nice. Realistic, creative, individual aspect.
Yeah. And my background in art, my mother's an artist. Anyone who knows Art Encounter knows it was founded by Pinsky. My mother, a very prolific artist. So I grew up painting a little bit, but I also did theater. And when I couldn't get cast in shows, I ended up painting the sets. So I early on got really excited about big, transformative, immersive art. And then when I met Dustin, I was between jobs and he was house painting. So we started house painting together and doing that labor of painting big walls, just solid colors, and started talking about painting murals together. I have been running programs for youth in Chicago Public Schools and seeing that they needed a more dynamic learning environment in many of the schools I was in. And we started proposing murals in these schools, and that's really how we began painting murals, first in schools and then in public spaces. Yeah.
So where was the first mural here? Where was it?
Well, our first mural here in Evanston is actually down Davis Street, and it's on boards, and it was with the Justin Wynn Fund about 12 or 13 years ago with the nonprofit group. So that was the first one. But the one that you're familiar with, our first one on a big wall, was in 2016, right at Church and Darrow near the high school.
I remember you interviewed us briefly. Still live TV or something like that?
Yes. I pulled over because it was so beautiful.
Yeah, and that was just before we started the mural program with Art Encounter. That was about 6 to 8 months before we launched Evanston Mural Arts Program that we were painting on that wall. So yeah, when we started the program, we brought not only years of experience painting murals ourselves with communities, but we had also run a mural program in Rogers Park for 7 years along the Red Line called the Mile of Murals with the Rogers Park Business Alliance. So we had a lot of experience seeing the impact of what it was like to bring lots of different artists from Chicago and elsewhere in the country and artists from all over the world into a community to make beautiful big murals, and all the enthusiasm that generated in this really kind of tight-knit community of East Rogers Park. And when we moved back to Evanston, because Dustin and I are both originally from Evanston, we thought, well, look at all these blank walls. Look at how much opportunity and potential there is to really bring all that dynamism to Evanston streets. Yeah.
Well, I can take over talking to them, but I know
I'd love to hear a little bit about, what do you think the benefit is from some of the work that you do? Because obviously, you look at it and it looks beautiful and it catches our eye. But do you see some of those tangible benefits with some of the folks that you work with, some of the artists that you work with as well?
Yes. Do you want to chime in first, or should I?
You can try it. And I'll try to
Okay.
answer that.
Well, one of the things that makes our program unique is that we're not actually just going around looking for walls to paint, as many walls as there are to paint, and we're not necessarily looking looking for walls for artists, right? It's what it is it's a community responsive program. So what we are looking for are partners in the community to work with. So one of the big benefits is that from the very beginning, every single mural project has an engaged community partner, whether that's a business district, whether that's another nonprofit. So we work with downtown Evanston and Main Dexter Mile and Central Street as business districts. We've worked with Family Focus, we've worked with the Evanston North Shore Bird Club, we've worked with recently Meals on Wheels, and all of those projects come to us. We wait for the phone to ring and people call us and say, I've got an idea of something that I know would be, I think, meaningful to me in my community around public art, but I don't know how to do that. You know how to do that, Leah, Dustin, Art Encounter, Evanston Mural Arts Program. How can we do this together? So it's like coming in with like a richly engaged community process. And that's what we love about it so much. It's not just about us seeing how we can bring more color to the walls. So that's one of the things.
Yeah. That's all that we do.
And the artists love it. I mean, we know from painting ourselves on these walls, that's really, really nice community. Oftentimes, what did Max say when he was painting? Like, I only got 2 hours.
Oh yeah. Well, Max Sensing painted down the street, big, colorful mural, a lot of faces and such, and he ends up only painting like 2 hours a day. He's there for like 6 hours because there's so many people that want to engage with him, that want to talk to him, that want to give him props. So he was joking about that.
How enthusiastic it is. He's not painting in a vacuum. Like everybody sees it, and that's just one example. I don't mean to single out Max because the same thing happened with Pose, and but that's just part of it, right? So it is engaging for the artists too. They want to know how does it work and what are you painting up with and what's that process. So that's also really exciting. Is that the public gets a peek into the artist process, right? And that's a big part of what Art Encounter is about making art accessible and getting people better connected with what the creative process is, bringing art into people's lives. And so both like the process and then the product tells all these different stories that are connected to the community.
I mean, I love that you highlighted that artistic process, right? Because more often than not, when you go to a museum, Art Institute, for example, right, and you see these magnificent portraits that are made, but you don't actually see the work and the time, the effort and energy that was put into such a painting, and the love, the passion that was put into it. And when you're walking downtown, right, you're walking past the Davis stop and you see somebody that's painting a mural, you go, okay, like I can watch somebody visibly do this in real time and see how much time, effort, and energy it takes to put into it. And that is something, getting that process, the average everyday person, unless you are an artist yourself and you like to paint, you often don't see that. So I know myself, I love to do photography, but I am a horrible painter and I will never claim to be a painter, right? But seeing that to me would be so inspiring.
Yeah, that's great because everybody is creative in their own way, and so an artist spends a lot of time working on his craft, and then the artists that we tend to gravitate towards are professional muralists, professional artists, and they've taken all that time and they have a vision for the wall and they can do it quickly. It takes 2, 3, 4 weeks sometimes, but exactly, that's a beautiful thing. The human spirit, giving your expression.
Yeah, giving back to the community through art. Yeah.
I'm a graduate of Impaired, and I'm sure if you know about our murals that are inside the school.
Yeah.
They're from ceiling to, well, at least the waist level. And it's just amazing that somebody actually came to the school and painted those. The same lines as your work, that people acknowledge it by what it is that they're looking at it. Not just when the artists are doing the work, but after it's done, and it's there, it's present for everybody to see and appreciate it.
A lot of those probably were WBA murals. They were painted like in the 30s, and so it's great that they're still there. It's great that youth can enjoy them. That's a beautiful thing.
How would you say that, because I know that I guarantee that there are some wonderful painters that are in the audience as well, but how as community members can we engage and support the work that you all do?
Well, there's a couple of things I think we wanted to talk about tonight too, which is that in addition to having the sort of formal murals that we do with the community partners every year, which really take 12 months probably from inception to execution, we've been involved in trying to help Evanston get more permission walls for people who just want to come out and practice their craft. Dustin, you can speak about the history of that, but there used to be...
Yeah, well, probably after my time, because I'm older, there was a lot of activity with permission walls. That means that there were private businesses that were lending their walls to graffiti artists. And some of them were good, some of them were bad. It didn't matter. They all got the opportunity to get down. Get down meaning do their expression. And so there was one back at Prairie Moon, there was one on Greenleaf and Dodge, there was one on Davistown Kitchen when it used to be over here. I'm old school Evanston, I'm old school Evanston. And then there was 2 others. So anyway, those have been slowly eliminated. So we're trying to get a graffiti permission wall by, can I say where?
Yeah, it's been, we were working with Devon Reed in the 8th Ward by the Mulford Park area. That's one of our ideas. A couple other options should they come up. So that is one thing. Some of our projects do, the artist is working with community members, so we've had some great projects in Truly Evanston, the high school students on Grove Street, where the community can come paint. The one that was at Green Bay Ridge in Emerson was, we invited members of the arts community to come and paint with him. So it's great when those projects come up as well. So in that regard, for people who are looking for opportunities to paint and be involved in that landscape, those are a couple of things. We are a nonprofit. I would say one of the things that I've learned, I've been surprised, but I totally understand, is that people do think that the murals, I think, are put up by the city and not by a small nonprofit that's been around for 46 years, quietly doing its thing. And one of the reasons they take a long time is because we want to properly pay artists. We need to use good materials. The walls need preparation. And so they're budgets. And so raising the money is a big, important part of what we do. Another way that the community can support us is by making a donation to Art Encounter and helping us bring more murals to Evanston, of course.
We are all about supporting the arts here. I mean, we have the state. Are you all going to be doing murals on the stage? The new stadium coming?
Maybe. I don't know.
It's going to be a lot of blank walls.
Yeah.
I didn't see the stadium. We're we're open to it.
You should probably put the bid in now. Make sure you get it.
One of the things that we're excited about this season also is, so Max Sansing painted those murals down at the Davis. He's come back to do the whole Davis embankment, and with the Civic Center moving there, have you guys seen the portrait that's
Just
evolved on the wall?
Down the street.
No, I have not gone in
Oh my
there.
God, just
You
down
may see
Davis Street. You can see his beautiful mural he did in
2022.
2022, and it's going to be extended. And Lorraine Morgan, her portrait is up there right now. It's
Beautiful
really big.
image of a young Marine Morton from the Civic Center moving
It's
there.
fabulous. And it's also his abstract, looks like flowers and greenery and such. So it's going to extend all the way down the wall. It's going to be
Lorraine Morton deserves a beacon to her legacy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So this is the beginning.
This is the beginning.
Yes.
The mural is the beginning because
Mural's the beginning.
she needs that building. Or someone else had an idea. Carol Bass had an idea for a park. It's the name of a park because a park will last forever, right? At least 100 years, right? Yes. Thank you all so much for honoring her, making sure that her legacy lives on.
Of course.
But that's level one. But we got to get you all. We got started late, so we're going to respect your time and get you all out of here. Did anyone have any questions for Art Encounter?
Sign your work.
Yes. And there's, by most of the murals, there's plaques that indicate the artist and year and things like that. Yeah. Yeah, but some artists do put it in the corner and some artists don't. It's up to them.
Yeah. And Anthony does. Yeah, it's relatively based on each artist.
Yeah.
I have a. Do you think AI will take over your job one day?
No.
We do too much. Just like Leah said, from inception to it happening, installation, it's a lot of behind the scenes work, permission, partners, everything.
Designs, yeah.
Designs. You know, for paying professional muralists wage that they like to work with. So
AI doesn't have a soul of an artist. AI can do it. AI cannot take over the arts. It cannot. Thank you all so much. And how can people get in touch with you if they have a blank wall they need some beauty on?
You can always go to our Instagram page, either art.encounter or Evanston Mural Arts Program. Yeah.
I have one question. What is the process if the artist is not within the network, but they want to get involved in it?
So we always are looking to meet new artists and know about mural artists in the community. So on Art Encounter's website, on the Murals tab, you can navigate to a mural, an artist interest form. I think it's a Google form where artists can share their work, their their Instagram, their websites, so that we have a file of artists that we are always able to look at.
We have a lot of young people out here. Any young people out here wanting to do a mural or? No?
On the spot.
Putting them on the spot. Yes. Well, thank you all so
Thank you
much,
so much.
Lee and Dustin.
Round of
Thank you.
applause.